All right, let's jump right into it. We got Chuck Peterson in the house. Chuck Peterson, Suncoast Roofing. Welcome back.
Hey, how you doing? Nice to be in the nice, sunny, warm Florida these days, right?
That's right. Absolutely, yeah. It's a little bit chilly out lately, but yeah, man.
We were thinking about moving further south, trying to warm up. It was freaking cold.
Changes in latitudes, changes in attitudes.
There you go.
That's
there
right.
You go.
Yeah, man. And let's go ahead and bring Brandon Porter on as well. Brandon, owner-operator of Veteran Gutters. Welcome back to the show as well.
Thank you, Brandon.
Hey, my pleasure. So let's go to Chuck. So, Chuck, when you look at protecting a home, the roof is obviously the number one component. If you look at all the different components of the home, what are you seeing out there in the roofing space?
Well, right now, we've been fortunate. Probably in the last, I'm saying 8 weeks, we've had probably 2 days of rain. So, it's been pretty good for everybody that's been out there. Looks like next week, unfortunately, we got rain coming Super Bowl Sunday, it looks like, and for another week. But, now's a good time to have your roof looked at while the rain's not there before it starts leaking in your house. But it's been quiet, but it's busy.
That's awesome. And the different, so you have different roof components. And, Brandon is a newer contributor to our show. His company is Veteran Gutters. Talk about how that can help also extend the roof life, especially around those drip edges.
Yeah, I mean, if your house, we're always advocates for putting gutters on your house to get the water away from your house, away from your foundation, because we put a nice roof on, but that water still runs off the edge right next to your foundation. And if you can have the gutters put on and run that water away, it just gives the lifetime of the house a better opportunity to keep on living.
And Brandon, same question to you.
Yes, sir.
When you think about putting gutters on, what are you seeing?
Yeah, I mean, similar situation. We've been fortunate enough to not really have any rain days, just a couple here and there. But yeah, I mean, now's the time to have them installed prior to the rainy season. A lot of these newer houses, they're having foundation issues. Water is actually pulling up and, leaking back into the house. We've seen it all. Windows not being sealed properly. The gutters, basically, they just keep the water off your house, protect your house, Yeah,
because water's natural flow is obviously pulled by gravity. So if you don't, it's going to basically come down the edge and just kind of make its way back toward the actual structure itself.
Absolutely. Yep, and it'll take the path of least resistance. So if there's a little crack or anything, it'll, drive through there and make it worse. So it'll find a way.
Yep, and I believe it's going to add value onto the home as well. So if you're adding,
absolutely.
Talk about the product itself, because this is I believe it's is it a vinyl product?
Nope, it's 032 gauge aluminum. 6-inch. Yep.
That's right.
6-inch seamless gutters. We manufacture them custom made on site. Everything's custom. So the aluminum is stronger than the vinyl. It doesn't get the sun fading, the sun rot, I guess. Doesn't turn brittle. It just lasts longer and it looks nicer longer.
Made in the USA?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
I love that.
Our materials USA made. Everything we use.
Very good. And Chuck, back to you. Where are a lot of our roofing components coming from?
All the shingles are U.S. made. Matter of fact, the GAF plant is in Tampa.
Nice.
It's off Faulkner in Tampa. That's their biggest plant in Florida. Owens Corning's plant is out there by Lakeland. So all the shingle items are made here. All the metal drip edge and all that stuff comes from Thompson's, which is based in Tampa as well. So all the roofing components are going to be U.S. made, because you just can't ship that stuff in. So it's all made right here. And literally for us, it's literally buying local when you buy, because those plants are in Tampa.
Yeah, that's super awesome. And those shingles, they have an extended roof life compared to what they used to be. Correct.
So as we've talked about in the past, the codes have changed. The shingles are immensely better. There's the biggest company in the U.S. that makes them is GAF, and that's who we are a installer for, and that warranty is 50 years. So I know people are out there going, a shingle will never make it 50 years in Florida in the sunshine and the heat, but they will. I mean, and this company the warranty is backed by GAF. It's not a Suncoast warranty. So if something goes wrong with those shingles, it's non-prorated for 50 years. You call them up, they'll fix them.
Yeah, that's super strong. That's great.
Yep.
And if you just joined us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, we're talking with Chuck Peterson, Suncoast Roofing, as well as Brandon Porter, Veteran Gutters. And we love to talk about supporting the local economy here. You know, now more than ever, we really need to kind of come together, support one another, local companies, local business owners, local nonprofits, getting involved in the community, and our random act of kindness that we always talk about as well. And when you look overall at the real estate market, it's such a hot market right now. Folks are moving in from out of state in record numbers. We're seeing some interesting migration patterns. Of course, they're moving south, and they are moving west as well. And oddly enough, Idaho is one of the largest growth states that we're seeing. The number one exodus state is New York. New Jersey, and then New York, California. So when you look at these changing demographics and migration patterns, it's interesting to kind of study and see where folks are moving to. So when you look at, I want to bring up a scenario as well that I've seen. So we've had the real estate process. So when you're buying a home, the buyers typically will do their inspections. Okay. And then sometimes in this Florida sunshine, of course, Florida rain in the summers, you have during the rainy season, lots of rain. And sometimes it's that Forrest Gump rain, where it comes in sideways, right? So when it's kind of hitting the roof edge, but it's also getting to the stucco, we've seen it happen over the years, especially this is more for a scenario where it's an older home, but sometimes that water can intrude, and sometimes it might be rolling down through the soffits, through the fascia, into the walls, and that's where it kind of leads to mold in some cases. Have you come across that, Chuck? And then I'll ask the same question to Brandon.
I mean, we come across it, quite a bit. It's really like if you have a dormer on your house, or if you've got, a second story that's not just a straight up box, that wall flashing, there's stucco above it. And if it cracks and gets behind that wall flashing, it can damage that wood. And so when we take that wall flashing out, the wood all behind it is completely rotten. We have to rebuild all that. That's another one of those, as a consumer, you have to do maintenance. You get a brand new car, you still have to change that oil. You get a new house, you still have to have that maintenance done. You need to have somebody come look at your roof. Look at that. I mean, we look at those walls and we look at the roof because it's right over top of the wall flashing. So if there's, cracks in that stucco, we're going to come down there and say, hey, you need to get somebody over here to point this up because it's going to lead to damage down the road. If you don't, you're going to think it's the roof leaking, but it's really your walls leaking or your windows leaking.
Right.
And we do that inspection free, as you know. I mean, you just have to call and say, hey, I'd like somebody to come look at my house. I think I might have an issue. And, we'll have guys out there, walking across the roof, looking at the attic and looking at the roof, make sure it's, if there's something needs to be done, we can get it done before it becomes a terminal issue.
Right. Yeah, Brandon, same question to you. Do you see that kind of an activity happening in your space?
Yeah, absolutely. We deal with, we do, a lot of times the homeowners, by the time they notice it, it's usually like the tip of the iceberg, I would say. What they're seeing is, a little bit of discoloration, or maybe their drywall's cracking. I've seen bricks deteriorating. So we'll diagnose the problem for them. But a lot of those problems would have been solved had they put gutters up in the first place. Because similar with like the flashing with the second story, we putting a gutter up along that roof edge that's dropping down on those valleys and stuff will help keep that water off of those weak points, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've definitely dealt with that kind of stuff, and we see it a lot, and it's unfortunate. And a lot of it too is, gutters installed improperly. We pitch our gutters. We use a level every, 2 to 3 feet. Everything's pitched right. That also helps. And then another thing is maintenance. You get leaves or debris or anything in there. You can get leak coverings. We recommend to, clean your gutters at least, 2 to 3 times a year. just check and make sure there's no clogs. That'll help the function of the gutter system itself and also save you problems.
All right, good stuff, good tips. All right, stay with us. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more. I want to talk about contractors and, some of the scams you see out there, because you got to be careful. You got to be an informed consumer, and this is the Consumer Quarterback Show. Of course, we want to help you as a consumer out there, what to look for, what we're seeing, what some of our professionals have seen. And we'll be right back with Chuck Peterson, Brandon Porter here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Make sure you check out consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
Of course. So let's jump right back into it. We've got Chuck Peterson on the line, Brandon Porter as well, Suncoast, veteran gutters, that is. Now, Chuck, back to you. When you look at contractors out there, I talk about this as well. I had a conversation yesterday about inspectors, an issue with the property that had some issues on it, a previous deal. But there's always good, better, and best. How do you try to find the best contractors, and what do we need to look out for as consumers out there?
Well, as a consumer, we have to take some responsibility to check out who we're having come to our house, right? I mean, we need to make sure that they're professional. Do they show up, with a shirt on and in a vehicle that represents the company that you're calling? You need to go online and make sure they're registered with the city and the state and they're licensed to do what you ask them to do. Those are simple things, but a lot of people, as we know, bypass that step, and they, their house is leaking. They need somebody to come fix it. They call the first person or somebody else gave them a number for. That person comes out, gives them a quote, talks to them good. They sign up, give them 50% of the money, and then we never see them again. And we've seen that. We've seen that happen time and again, as you and I have talked about over the years, and it's unfortunate, but it happens, and that's why we need to be good, consumer advocates to make sure that everybody understands what they need to do to take care of themselves. When the people go up to their door.
Yeah, absolutely. And Brandon, same question to you. What's your advice to consumers out there when it comes to finding that right contractor to work with?
I guess to elaborate on what Chuck was saying, do your research, multiple estimates. I would call, a couple different companies, especially if you're unsure, you don't know what, the project entails. The more info, the better. Just do your due diligence. Don't go with the first guy. Try to hear everybody out. A big indicator for us is, showing up on time, answering the customer's questions. We try to treat every customer as an individual. So each house is unique. Every customer is unique. So we focus completely on that customer until the job's done. Fortunately for us, we don't collect payment until after the job's done and the customer is 100% satisfied. So we try to minimize the risk for the customer. We'll also, even if the customer decides not to go with us, we're more than happy to still take their phone calls and, provide guidance, I would say, through the process. So we try to make it as painless and user-friendly as possible.
Yeah, and that's important, having that service aspect, that educational, that consultative approach to your business. And Brandon, talk a little bit about your military service. What branch were you in?
So I did 4 years in the Marine Corps active. I did from 2003 till 2007. Got out, moved to Wisconsin to take over the family gutter business. We're a third-generation business,
wow,
by the way. So it was too cold up there. And then I ended up getting involuntary recalled in 2009. So basically I came home from work one day and there was a package with orders saying report to Camp Pendleton, in a couple months. So ended up going back in the Marine Corps, stayed in California for another 3 years, and then moved to Tampa once I got out the last time.
Wow. Awesome. Thanks for your service, my friend.
And
Thank you. We greatly appreciate that. So third generation business. That's pretty cool. So you've got that that family experience. That's how I was. I grew up working out in the I saw somebody do a post. It was an interesting post, but it was on LinkedIn. I think it was. It said, "What age did you start working? 0 to 16, 16 to 22, or what?" They had these different categories, and I was one of those early ones. I was one of those early ones, and I was on a lawnmower. I was out there working, helping Dad, getting things done, and helping the family business. And I think that's part of the American dream. The American dream is capitalism, doing what it takes, and especially family businesses. I love supporting family businesses, local businesses, small and medium-sized businesses. I think they're under attack more than ever, of course, with what's going on in politics and in the media, and you find that out there. So let's support the local business owners here in Tampa Bay. Chuck Peterson's on the show, Suncoast Roofing, Brandon Porter, veteran gutters. So, why would you not want a veteran, working on your gutters if you're doing gutters? Chuck, back to you. We've got about a minute left in this segment. What do you see coming in 2021 here? How are things going and holding up for you?
Well, it's as we all know, we dodged every bullet last year when hurricane season came. But the 3 years before that, we've had a hurricane hit.
Yes.
And so we're already. We were actually talking this morning about we need to start gearing up for a hurricane hit somewhere in the state because we're due. So we're looking. We're getting ready for rainy season as it's coming in. It's about to be here. And the phones will be ringing, and we'll be sending people everywhere across the state. So we're just gearing up.
All right, good stuff. Gentlemen, if you can hang on with us, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back and do another quick segment if you got some time. Brandon Brimes here. We will be right back after this short break. More from Brandon Porter, veteran gutters, Chuck Peterson, Suncoast Roofing here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We'd love for you to follow us online and connect with us at Brandon Rimes 1 on Instagram and Twitter, at the Consumer Quarterback Show as well on Facebook, Platinum MVP Team at Keller Williams Realty, the #1 real estate company in the world, on Facebook as well. Got a great podcast as well in case you miss our show. We'd love for you to download that. It's available where your iTunes podcasts are available. And, of course, support our show partners. You can go to consumerqb.com, and you can see links there to all of our expert contributors. And we'll be right back after this short break. Check out consumerqb.com.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group.
All right, I want to talk about vets. I want to talk about veterans here for this segment, and also if you are hiring as well, if you're looking for jobs. I believe these two companies might be hiring. So we're talking with Chuck Peterson, Suncoast Roofing, as well as Brandon Porter. He's the owner-operator of Veteran Gutters here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. So again, thanks for your service, Brandon. And are you looking to hire right now, Brandon?
We are. We're just getting through with the slow season, so we will be looking to bring on probably a second or third guy to add to our team. We just got a new marketing director, so you should be seeing us a lot more.
Awesome, I love it. And same question to you, Chuck. Are you guys hiring?
We're always hiring, especially salesmen. We got offices all over the state, and we will hire a good salesman at any point in time we can get one. That is all they got to do is call me, and that's for all over the state.
Suncoastroofing.com, suncoastroofing.com as well. And you can reach out to the hotline. We'd love to put you in touch with any of our expert contributors. Today we're talking with Chuck and Brandon, but we've got 40 to 50 plus show partners here on the show. Reach out to the hotline, 813-750-0550. You can call or text that line, 813-750-0550. Call or text. And, helping out the veterans and hiring, you got opportunities here for hiring. I know a lot of companies are struggling with the labor pool right now, and it seems like that's the case out there with many companies. Let's go ahead and jump into your top tips, nuggets of advice, and words of wisdom. Chuck Peterson.
Well, I'm going to revert back to the veteran thing for just 1 second.
Yeah.
GAF pays out $250 a straight check to whoever we do a roof for that is a veteran.
Nice.
So you just have to tell our sales guys that, hey, I'm a vet, and they probably have to get your DD-214 number, and then GAF literally sends the check straight to them. It's not a Suncoast item, and then we always try to match it. You know, we'll give that $250 off as well if they call the show and get to us through the show.
Nice.
Have the show name in there. We match that same discount to the veterans.
Thanks for doing that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Helping out the vets, and we offer discounts for veterans if they're buying, selling, or investing. We can rebate monies back to them at closing, help them get in. We can, especially coach them on how to structure real estate deals where you're asking for seller concessions. It's all based on how you structure the deal, part of the negotiation strategy. So yeah, lots of great opportunities there. Brandon, what's a top tip from you? Parting words of wisdom, nuggets of advice.
I mean, just do your due diligence, research, the product before you buy. Along with that veteran discount, we also offer a 10% military discount on the entire job. That's for all veterans, and we have been extending it to law enforcement, first responders, and essential employees. So we've actually expanded a little bit into that. So yeah, I mean,
that's great. Yeah, thanks for doing that. It's those folks are risking their lives every day, especially those first responders, those military, those the police officers, the sheriff deputies, the 911 operators. I mean, they're in the front lines. Those hospital workers as well, frontline workers. So, all right, good stuff there. Final thoughts, Chuck. Give us some final thoughts here. Words of wisdom.
Words of wisdom, right? Really is if you have somebody come to your house, you need to take a day before you sign.
That's right. Have that cooling off period. Don't rush into it. And the deposit thing, I love what you say about deposits. If they ask for all the money up front or just a very large deposit, that should be a red flag. Yeah, that's a red flag, right, Chuck? Looks like we lost
Brandon
Chuck.
Brown refers you to us, then you can sign that day because he's the man.
There we go.
Absolutely.
Chuck can, great company backed by the 50-year warranty, GAF, Master Elite, certified, and you got the different types of roofs as well. Chuck can help you with that. Brandon Porter as well, supporting a gentleman that has a background in the military, supporting a small business based here in Tampa Bay. Nothing better than supporting our veterans. We love that, and we extend that to our veterans, our first responders for the real estate business as well, military, teachers, nurses. We're extending that out, as well. We're basically looking for reasons to hook you up. You know what I mean? That's what we're doing. So yeah, so awesome. Well, hey, thanks again, Chuck Peterson, Suncoast Roofing. Say hello to Mary and the rest of the team for us.
We'll do it.
We appreciate you, my friend. Brandon Porter, always a pleasure, my friend.
Thank you. Always a pleasure. Thanks, Brandon.
All right, gentlemen, we'll let you go. And when we come back, we're going to talk about a cool story. We always talk about these random acts of kindness here on the Consumer Quarterback Show.